Welcome to the On Deck podcast, presented by LineStar. I'm Shannon Sommerville here with Tyler Wiemann on this Wednesday. Kind of a victory lap day for us.
Crushing it.
If you just brush it off
over
here.
and over again.
We've hit our props the past 2 days. That's 2 days in a row, and 3 of the last 4 days for our props. Hope you're playing along on Underdog and tailing our bets there. If you are not, the link is below to Underdog. New users who deposit at least $10 can get their deposit matched up to $100 if you use promo code LineStar. Got to get that in there for today. But we've got a great show for you today. We're going to talk about our daily fantasy. We've got an 8-game slate for today. We'll also get to our prop bets, try to make it 3 in a row, and our home run calls. Can't miss that. Tyler hit his yesterday.
Sure did.
Aaron Judge came through.
Heating up.
Speaking of Aaron Judge, that was number 48. It was 453 feet, too. Quite the bomb.
Was a bomb. He crushed that thing.
13 to tie Roger Maris. Do you think he does it?
I think he has a chance.
Yeah.
He needs to get hot, which seems like he's turning around the corner again. Coming out of that slump, maybe the Yankees won't lose that lead.
2 big wins over the Mets had to help a little bit in terms of that. So with those Mets losses, though, the Braves have now won 13 of the last 15, so they're just 2 games back in the NL East. So things getting kind of interesting.
Brave chat is going strong in LineStar these days.
Yeah?
Yep.
Well, I'm wondering, Spencer Strider did warn the Mets, hey.
Yep.
No
soft lucky hits.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens this fall.
Yeah.
So,
I absolutely think the Braves are the better team. So.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mets have amazing pitching.
Yeah.
DeGrom and Scherzer will be incredibly difficult to go against in playoffs. But outside of that,
Polar bear, come on. We don't like the polar bear.
He's the only one that has power on the team, though.
Daniel Vogel. You can't forget the Vogie.
The Vogie,
Daniel Vogelback.
But
we love seeing him running around the bases.
He's a splits type hitter, though.
Yeah. Bartolo Colon.
So, just big sexy. Got to bring big sexy into this.
So, also, your prop bet for yesterday was Eugenio Suarez, who hit a home run to nail your prop there, and he's had 5 home runs in the last 7 games.
Yeah, and shout out to Mello in chat who bet on Suarez to hit a home run.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was nice. Probably a nice payout there. But I wanted to get your take, Tyler, as a Padres fan, on Fernando Tatis Jr. He issued an apology yesterday in front of cameras. He had AJ Preller right next to him and issued a pretty sincere apology.
Pretty sure AJ Preller was sitting there pinching him, trying to tell him, hey, be remorseful.
Yeah.
One thing is he didn't look at the cameras at all, which to me is either a sign of he doesn't really think he did anything wrong still, or he's just absolutely mad about the fact that this happened, and he is
just embarrassed in general.
Embarrassed is
tail between
another
his
way I
legs
was saying.
kind of
Yeah. But it's a bummer situation. I think he is more upset that he can't play than what he did, though.
You still get that sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was interesting that we were just watching the apology right before we came on here. And at the end, he did say that he's spending all of his time in San Diego this offseason. So he is getting the surgery, the shoulder surgery that the Padres had kind of been wanting him to, but he put it off.
I am very happy he's doing that.
So he's getting that taken care of. And he did say, I'll be here full time in San Diego, which I thought was interesting because I said, yep, that was definitely a stipulation of the Padres. They want to keep him close, keep a close eye on him.
100%.
So
I think that is a good move. The Padres obviously need to keep close eyes on him because he blew it all off season, and we can't have that.
He's got a lot of trust to earn back. I know he also apologized to his teammates privately. Curious how that kind of went over.
But how great of a story will it be when we win the World Series
There we go.
next season.
Well,
Soto, Machado, Tatis all together. Let's do it.
Well, I hope Soto's
LFG. Maybe we'll get you wearing that sweatshirt a little more.
Hey,
huh?
I did see a Soto bomb in person, so I was impressed with their team,
Yeah.
Oh, Joe Musgrove's my favorite player for that barehanded catch he had.
San Diego local, born and raised.
I do
Let's
like
go,
Joe Musgrove. All right.
Love it.
Another player to keep an eye on, Bryce Harper is nearing his return. In his assignment, he hit rehab assignment. He hit 2 home runs. So Harper's pretty much back.
I saw one of them and it was a bomb. He crushed it.
If you are watching us on YouTube, be sure to hit like and subscribe to our channel to keep up with all the video content we've got coming out. We got some football stuff coming your way, some new programming there. So be sure to like and subscribe. If you are listening to us on your podcast, appreciate you guys listening in, and leave us a nice review. That'll help us out on the Apple Store. Now it's time to get to some daily fantasy. Not too many weather notes. Actually, none at all. Nothing that will affect the outcome of the game in one way or the other too much. So let's get right to it, our daily chalk report, and tell you where the field is headed in terms of pitchers in daily fantasy. First pitcher we're going to talk about is Rays lefty Shane McClanahan. He's going up against the Angels today. 43% owned on DraftKings, 42% owned on FanDuel. I mean, McClanahan, 2.29 ERA, 185 opponent average. And while he's still great, he actually hasn't been as elite as he was towards the beginning of the season, when he really wasn't allowing more than 1 run a game. And he has been kind of creeping up there in terms of the ERA, 3.72 in the month of August. Given that, I mean, the Angels, we always do like to kind of pick the pitcher against them. However, Trout's back. Does that change how you look at this matchup for today?
It absolutely does a little bit. The Angels' offense is a little bit better with Trout, obviously. But my main concern here is McClanahan, and I'm going to sidetrack us a little bit because every time I hear that name, I just want to say Callahan Auto Parts. Shout out Tommy Boy, fat guy in a little coat. Anyways, I think there's something wrong with me how every single time that pops in my head.
That is funny.
Anyways, back to DFS chat here. What really worries me here is he has a 20% K rate over his last 5 starts. Now, over his last 20, he's over a 31% K rate. So it's 11% drop. Like that is a significant difference over the last 5. He has played some teams that aren't very strikeout prone, but you don't see that big of a drop even against those teams that are less strikeout prone.
That is interesting.
So I am worried about that.
Yeah.
His StatCast data is fine. We have a 5-star alert rating on him, but we have a combined K rate at only 22%, which I just think is kind of low for what his salary is.
Right.
You know, and until that, K rate of his comes up at his price, I don't know if I'm going to be there.
At the price, and the ownership is there as well.
Yeah.
So maybe not worth it in terms of that matchup for today. However, how do you like the Cardinals righty Miles Michaelis going up against the Cubs? 40.6% on DraftKings and 21% ownership on FanDuel. 3.32 ERA, 2.27 opponent average. Last outing, just 1 run on 2 hits in 8 innings. However, just 4 strikeouts.
Yeah.
So maybe not the strikeout numbers we're kind of looking for in terms of a daily fantasy. However, the Cubs, not the greatest of offenses. So how do you evaluate this matchup for today?
They aren't the greatest offense. They do strike out a decent amount, but I have a really hard time following a pitcher with a 17% strikeout rate that is this high owned. Add in the fact that he's averaging almost 50% less fantasy points win away, or 50% less.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
I have a really hard time to go here. Michaelis is a good pitcher, but he just lacks that strikeout upside.
Yeah.
And that's what we really need in DFS. And add that the fact that he's worse away, and I don't know if I can go here either.
All right.
No.
So our two top owned guys, we're not exactly feeling it. But how about the next guy? D-backs ready, Zach Gallen against the Royals today. 31.5% owned on DraftKings, 16.5% ownership for FanDuel. 2.78 ERA, 195 opponent average. Hasn't given up a run in the last 3 starts, one of which was at Coors Field, where he only allowed 2 hits, which to me is absolutely mind-blowing. Last game versus the Giants had a season high 12 strikeouts. Dude has been dealing. Also, he's from Sommerville, New Jersey. It kind of sounds like Sommerville, but also a Jersey native, so we like that too. It's the Jersey bump.
The Jersey bump. Uh-oh, there's a new bump. But you're right. This dude has absolutely been dealing. 1.69 FIP with a 31% K rate over those last 5 starts. He has a plus matchup against KC, 28% combined K rate. I wouldn't be surprised if his ownership comes up a little bit. I am not the only one that would have seen some of these numbers with Miklos and McClanahan. So
yeah,
wouldn't be surprised if all 3 of their ownerships become a little more even, but you got to like Gallen here today. And I will, just going back to McClanahan real quick, absolutely is a chance that, you know, he goes back to his 31% K rate.
Sure. And the Angels do strike out. I feel like a lot
They
of
do.
times
They strike out a lot.
reach their highest strikeout mark of the season, and it's against the Angels.
They do. With Trout back, it's a little bit harder for them to reach that ceiling, but he could. I just don't want to totally tell people to fade him because he is a really good pitcher. He's crushed it all season.
But it is worth noting the strikeout rate has been down a little bit, which is interesting. Low-owned pitchers for today. First guy we're looking at is Astros lefty Framber Valdez going up against the Twins today, and just 15% owned on DraftKings. 2.72 ERA, 2.99 opponent average. Last time out, 2 earned runs on 7 hits in 7 innings with 6 strikeouts. This is a guy, though, that does have the strikeout upside. We saw him rack up 13 in his season high this season, so he has that ability. What do you like about him for today in terms of his matchup against the Twins?
We have a 4.5 star alert rating on him. He's second highest projected on LineStar. He's been really good lately. 2.8 FIP, 21% K rate, which is higher, combined K rate. That last 5 starts number is higher than McClanahan, which is surprising.
Yeah.
The combined K rate is also higher than what McClanahan is offering today. So I think he's in a good spot. That Twins offense is decent, but they can strike out a lot. And I think this could actually be kind of a pitcher's duel. I don't mind. I wouldn't really play Bundy, but he has fared well against Houston.
Valdez is a good pitcher, and I feel like sometimes he gets overlooked because of that rotation. That rotation is just so good.
Yeah.
You know, when you got Verlander in your rotation, you can easily get overlooked, but he's been solid for the Astros.
He has been.
Dodgers lefty Andrew Heaney going up against the Brewers today, 12% owned, and he's got a 1.77 ERA and a 1.94 opponent average, so some great numbers there. The thing is, he hasn't gone deep into games, although last game he racked up 10 strikeouts. He doesn't even need to go deep into games. It was 4 2/3 in that game against the Brewers. Granted, he did give up 3 bombs. However, that strikeout number is very appealing for fantasy owners.
And that's kind of been who he has been his career. Gives up hard contact, but has some great strikeout stuff. And his K rate over the last 5 games, 31%. So he's brought his strikeout stuff. Meanwhile, Milwaukee isn't great versus lefties. 26% K rate, 279 WOBA, 129 ISO versus lefties. He is kind of expensive, but I really like the combined K rate at 31%. I love the upside and low ownership, especially when I'm not a huge fan of some of the high owned guys.
Yeah, like Michaelis doesn't have that strikeout upside, but Heaney does. So.
Heaney has a very high ceiling, but there is a lot of volatility with him.
Sure.
So it is a riskier one, but I think I'll probably take a couple swings.
Yeah, buddy. No risk it, no biscuit.
Yeah.
Let's get to our team stacks for today. And the high-owned stacks for the day, the first team we're going to talk about is the Phillies. They're going up against Reds' TJ Zoich, who just 2 games has given up 12 earned runs in 8 innings.
Yeah.
Watch out for those Phillies bats today.
It's not very good. He's pretty much been throwing batting practice, 10.7 FIP, 37% hard contact, tons of barreled balls, really high average exit velocity. You gotta like Philly with him pitching. He also hasn't been going deep into games, and we know that Cincinnati bullpen is poor. So I think Philly's got to put a couple over the fence.
Yeah, absolutely. Blue Jays are another team that the field is headed to today. They're going up against Red Sox Brian Bello, who is activated off the 15-day IL to start today. I believe he's out with a groin injury. 5 starts this season. His ERA is 8.47 with a 3.78 opponent average. We know what the Blue Jays bats are capable of, so it's easy to see why the field is high on Blue Jays bats for today.
Yes. However,
I sensed a however coming.
He has a 3.7 FIP. He has been much better than the numbers show. And remind us when he came up, that was during that stretch where Boston was unable to play defense.
Okay.
They were just throwing the ball all over the field. It looked like a poor rec league softball game. Shout out to the tacos. So I think he has been getting unlucky. His StatCast data is actually decent. The one thing that does scare me is that he is worse to righties. We know this Toronto lineup has a ton of them. Wouldn't surprise me, though, if they didn't really crush him.
Okay. So one to be a little weary of.
Yeah. There is some stuff going in Bello's favor. He's a big-time prospect, too. So
the talent is there.
Yeah.
How about low-owned for today? Maybe some teams we can get a little better value on. And the first team is going to be the Dodgers. They're going up against Brewers righty Adrian Hauser, who was activated from the 15-day DL or IL he was out with an elbow injury of sorts. In 2022, his ERA 4.72, opponent average 2.71. And although he did have an opponent average of over 300 in June before the IL, however, that could have also been kind of injury, a result of his injury. So, with all that being said, do you like the Dodgers for today?
I do. He's worse on the road. 2.95 opponent average on the road with a 5.89 ERA. He has a 5.5 FIP. Has allowed at least 3 runs in his last 5 starts. And when he gives up a home run, he usually gives up 2 or 3. So it's a good spot to stack and kind of hope for those blow-up games because it's going to be probably based on some home runs. Yeah. So I definitely like the Dodgers. They have a great lineup. If they're going under-owned,
sure,
it's a nice spot to attack.
Yep, did well yesterday too. Cardinals at Cubs. The Cubs putting out righty Luke Farrell, first MLB outing of the season for him. He spent the entire season in Triple-A Iowa. What do you see from the Cardinals bats today? Poor rookie. Hey, you got to face Goldie and Arenado. Good luck, kid.
So, in the minors over the last month, Farrell is giving up a 3.13 opponent batting average in the minors. Now he's coming up. He's going to face Goldie, Arenado, the entire lineup of the Cardinals, and I think it's going to be a long, short one for him.
Yep.
He's also hasn't been going deep into games in the minors, so this is somewhat of a bullpen game, and Cubs also have a bad bullpen. So even if you get Farrell out, it's not going to get any easier for the Cubs. You got to like Cardinals today.
Yeah. So Dodgers and Cardinals in a good spot for today.
So with that being said, I'll probably be paying up for hitters.
Yeah.
And probably staying away from the McClanahans because of it.
Yep. And like you said, we always like to go with the good offenses.
Mm-hmm. Sure do.
Dodgers and Cardinals are certainly that. I know it pains you.
It does.
To talk about the Dodgers, but
Yeah.
we got to be objective here today on the On Deck podcast.
Yep.
All of those stats and information, especially the ownership, which is super important in daily fantasy. Make sure you find that at LineStarApp.com. And right now, I do have to remind you guys that the price will go up to $29.99 per month when football season starts. So you've got like a week left to lock in that $19.99 per month price. So save yourself $10 a month. Lock it in now, LineStarApp.com. Now we're going to use the LineStar app to get our sleeper picks of the day. Our sleeper pick for the day on DraftKings. LineStar is liking the D-backs today, so Stone Garrett's our guy, coming in at $2,300 on DraftKings. What a bargain.
It's a solid name, too.
It's a great name.
Yeah.
Going up against Brady Singer today for the Royals and pulling up his player card. Well, he's had some good games with some double-digit fantasy figures for us. Batting third or expected to be top 5% hitter versus right-handed pitching with 2.27 fantasy points per plate appearance. They're also at Kauffman Stadium, which, as we know, is a very hitter-friendly venue. And top 95% average exit velocity versus righties. Like those numbers as well. Also, 400 average. I know it's a small sample size given he's only had 17 plate appearances. However, it's pretty good.
A name like Stone, you got to be good.
And our sleeper pick for the day on FanDuel is going to be, it's another D-backs player, Jake McCarthy, also going up against Brady Singer at $2,400 on FanDuel. So good price. And he's been crushing it for you in fantasy. He's had over 16 points in 4 of the last 5 games. You can see here yesterday he had 25 fantasy points. As you can see in his alert score for today, 3.5-star alert score, and he has scored over 20 fantasy points per game the last 3 games, or he's averaged that, which is pretty darn good.
Pretty
good. $2,400. So like that play for today. For all your sleeper picks, value picks, everything you need to know to dominate your fantasy league or daily fantasy, make sure to check out LineStarApp.com. And again, like I mentioned, the prices will go up per month for football season to $29.99 per month. Still a great deal, but we do want you to save that $10 a month. Lock it in now, $19.99. LineStarApp.com. Link is below. Now it's time for our home run calls of the day. Tyler, you got one right yesterday. Aaron Judge went yard with an absolute towering home run.
Good old moonball.
So who are you going with today for your home run call?
You know, I'm going to go pick on the guy that has been called up from the minors, Luke Farrell, and I'm going Paul Goldschmidt. Farrell is allowing 1.5 home runs per 9 in the minors. Now, he's going to throw to the likes of Goldie and the rest of the St. Louis lineup and add in the fact the Cubs have a poor bullpen, and I think we see multiple Cardinal home runs today, and Paul Goldie will be one.
Oh, man, poor kid has to face that
Poor
lineup.
kid.
That's going to be pretty good. I am going with Kyle Schwarber today. We got a lefty bat going up against a righty, and he's got a .535 slugging percentage against righties. Today he's going up against Cincinnati Reds righty TJ Zoich, who in just 2 games in the big leagues has given up 4 home runs. Combine that with the fact that the Cincinnati bullpen has the highest home run per 9 rate in all of baseball. Plus, it's going to be 84 degrees today at Citizens Bank Park. Give me a Schwarbomb for today. Feeling good.
I like it. Schwarbomb, Golden Bomb. Let's do it.
We got this today.
Yep.
Now it's time for our prop bets of the day, which we've been crushing lately. We've gotten it 3 of the last 4 days and 2 days in a row this week. So we've got pressure's on to carry the streak. However, before we get to that, we got to pick out a winner. It's that time.
We do.
So the winner for yesterday's contest, since Tyler and I both hit our props, for the second day in a row, if I haven't said that already.
Not to victory lap or anything.
John Battisti, congratulations. You are our winner for the prop bet contest. Be sure to message us so that we can get you your $60 cash. Thank you for commenting on our YouTube video. Like I just mentioned, John won his $60. All you have to do to play our prop bets contest is to make sure you've liked the video, subscribe to our channel, and comment below. It could be anything. Battisti, great job commenting on the Yankees. It didn't get you an extra boost because we're, fair like that, but you did win some brownie points. Yeah. All right. So prop bets for today are going to be available on Underdog. So make sure if you haven't already, download the Underdog Fantasy app, legal in most states, and new users who use the promo code LineStar, you will get your deposit matched up to $100 plus 2 free months of LineStar. So great deal there. The link is below to that. All right. So we got all that housekeeping out of the way. Prop bets time.
We're already profitable on the week. We only need to hit twice because the payout structure. We've already done that. It's all gravy now.
All good.
All good. All right. Today I am going not on the main slate. I am going to the Colorado game, the Coors Field game, and we're going Adolis Garcia over 1.5 total bases. Like I said, we're playing in Coors Field. It is super warm there today. There's a total of 11. And he's facing Jose Urena, who we love to pick on. Not only is he bad, the Colorado bullpen is poor, and Garcia is heating up. He's hit this in 3 of the last 5 games, and he's going to get a 4th today.
Seems like checking all the boxes for us today on the prop bets.
And it's minus 150 on the sports book, so there's solid value here.
Yeah. I'm going to go with another Phillies bat. I'm going Alec Boehm over 1.5 bases. That's at minus 130. So you are getting some good value on Underdog Fantasy. Now, he's hit this mark in 3 of the last 5. He's also hitting over 340 in the last week, so on fire. And he's going up against Reds ready TJ Zoik, who gives up a 436 opponent average. Plus, the Reds bullpen ranks 24th in opponent average. We've talked about how we like the Phillies today in terms of this matchup overall. I think Boehm gets this mark. 1.5 bases. We're going over. Making it 2 in a row.
I like it. We need 3 bases today. We'll do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We got it. So, for all of that information, make sure to check out LineStarApp.com and be sure to download the Underdog Fantasy app if you haven't already. It's a lot of fun and you can tailor bets there. And make sure to enter in your name for our contest. All you have to do, subscribe, comment below, and you could be like our winners this week and just be, up $60.
And, even if you don't want to join the contest, liking, subscribe, all that helps Shannon out big time. Shannon and I out. So
yeah, we need that. Helps us
we
get
like
a
the boost. Yeah, we like the boost.
Good luck, everybody, in all your daily fantasy and your prop bets. We will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.
Thanks, guys. Bye.